Speaking to Fox News, the former CIA station chief claimed U.S. President Donald Trump could launch further strikes against the Assad regime in Syria, but that a military action was not the only option. Mr. Hoffman argued that a political intervention supporting some of Assad's opposition on the ground could be successful in taking down the rogue regime. He said, "There are probably three options that are out there. The first is another military strike or a series of military strikes against Syria's chemical weapons facilities and storage facilities." Fox Getty Syria attack. Ex-CIA chief says Trump has three options as his next move against Assad, but there are also a couple of other options. One is to try to create safe zones to protect the population. And then third, we could get some skin in the game and restart the support that we used to provide to the Syrian Democratic Forces. When I was chief of the Middle East operations in CIA a few years back, and we were considering all the threats resulting from this petri dish that is Syria now, we all believed at the time that to get to deal with those threats you needed to remove Assad. In order to do that, you've really got to help some of the opposition on the ground, and that's not what we're doing right now. Mr. Hoffman's suggestion came after the UK, the US and France launched a series of missile strikes directed at the Syrian government forces on Saturday. Following the strikes this morning, Mr. Trump tweeted this morning, "A perfectly executed strike last night. Thank you to France and the United Kingdom for their wisdom and the power of their fine military. Could not have had a better result. Mission accomplished. So proud of our great military, which will soon be, after the spending of billions of fully approved dollars, the finest that our country has ever had. There won't be anything, or anyone, even close." In a press conference on the Syria attack this morning, Prime Minister May said Britain cannot allow the use of chemical weapons to be normalized. She said, "I have taken this decision because I believe it is the right thing to do. I believe it is absolutely in our national interest." The Prime Minister called the strikes on chemical weapon sites limited and targeted. She stressed the operation was in Britain's national interest, saying there was no practicable alternative to the use of force. Russian President Vladimir Putin called the attacks an act of aggression, stoking fears of a possible World War III. Fears are growing that a future chemical weapons attack in Syria could yield an even bigger international response, and bring France, the US and the UK into conflict with Russia and Iran, who back the Bashar al-Assad regime.